Okay, today I'm going to show you how to install Mac on a Dell Inspiron 560. This basically will work on any computer if it meets the standards for the Mac. So this is called actually Hackintosh, and simply what you'll need mostly is just a graphics card. These things can range from $30 to thousands of dollars, and you don't need no big great one. Usually Nvidia has a nice cheap graphics card that will work perfect with this. So yeah, and it's recommended for a dual core processor. This one has an Intel Pentium 2, one of the new ones that's dual core, and so let's do this. So right now I actually have Mac installed on a second hard drive, but I actually want to put it on my terabyte hard drive. So what we're going to do is go into the BIOS, and you will want to come down to your boot device configuration and make sure that your disk drive is before any of the other devices. So hold on one second, let me see this. CD drive. That's my first drive, and I want it to boot before my hard drive. So basically I'm going to set it like it is. I have USB before because of my mouse being plugged in, but it doesn't matter. So as long as the disk drive is before the hard drive, and I don't need to save because mine's set already like that. We'll open up the disk drive and put the disk in. Now, like I said, I already had Mac installed on my second hard drive in here, but it's only 80 gigs, so I want to put this actually on the 1 terabyte that came with the computer. So okay, this thing up here will blink and should make some weird twirls and stuff, and do that like it did to show you that it's going to boot. The Mac disk is. And okay, so you can put F8 to enter startup options. Usually I never do. Some people say type in -V. If you're running a dual core processor, type in Mach kernel. Really, I have all those things and never typed that crap. So, and it's installed perfect before. So you know, I would not figure I need to do that now. Okay, so this does take quite a minute to load up. Hopefully if it loads up on your computer. If it doesn't, you're probably not got stuff that's compatible in your computer with the Mac. Mostly they say to have an Intel processor, especially because we're doing Mac line. It's not compatible with AMD processors at all that I know of. See here, if you're doing this on a laptop, you need to have a Theros Wi-Fi card. So that's for people that's on a laptop. You have to have that brand or Broadcom. And but on a desktop, really, you don't have to worry about your internet brand. Mostly what I suggest is to have quite a bit of RAM, a dual core processor. People's done this on single core processors and it works fine, but it says at least a dual core to be perfect. A graphics card is the most thing I recommend on doing this, because I don't know, when I did this computer without the graphics card, which I bought a Nvidia graphics card, and it's just like a excuse me, 8400 GS, and it works perfect, and it was a cheap little $40 card that I bought, and I don't know, I like it, and it's a pretty good picture. But I have learned when I did this with the computer stock, this picture, the App Store wouldn't load, and it said something like system configuration for this computer cannot be found or something like that, some crazy crap. Went online and was searching for it, and it said most of the time it's where a part in your computer, either the internet part, which would be Ethernet connector, or your Wi-Fi card, or graphics, is messing with that, and it said to do all this stuff and everything. I've tried it all, so it basically, what I did was, it says NVIDIA is the most compatible graphics card with Hackintosh, and so what I did was I just went and bought a cheap one, and like I said, it worked perfect, and I haven't had no problems out of the App Store load, so I can sign into my account and download apps and everything, and it's pretty smooth, believe it or not. I mean, you might think, well, this is just a Hackintosh, it's taking somebody else's OS and doing it. It actually works just like their OS. Really, if you had a nice, decent computer, because, I mean, I've seen people spend thousands of dollars on their computers and make them Hackintoshes, and it's just as good as buying an actual Apple. So, I mean, I really recommend doing this if you like Apple and you don't want to pay thousands for their computers when you could simply buy a decent computer out in town, or build one yourself. Actually, that's how most people install this, is build computers, because most of the time when you do it that way, you know every part that you're buying is going to be compatible, because there is lists online that you can find that show you compatible parts and everything. I recommend the Tony Mac blog spot that you could go to. He's got a website. You just go on Google and type that in, and you can basically find all kinds of downloads that will help you install this just about on any computer. Me, I'm just using the regular disk method, but you can use USB method to do this, all kinds of stuff. There's some builds on there for cheap installs, how much money you would like to build a computer for, and they give you lists for all compatible parts, and people talk on there for what they've built and how theirs runs and stuff. It's a really good site for Hackintosh people if they want to check that out. And really, like I said, this takes a while to load. If you get anything popped up on here that says power down, what that means is you've got a kernel panic, and it's where your processor panic from running this, and that's when that mock kernel thing kicks in. I usually have no problem with my dual core processor doing it, but most people running i7s and stuff like that do. And basically what you type in is MACH_kernel and just hit enter on that boot screen that you be seen before, that I just let it go on its own, and it should fix that problem if you do get that. And if you keep getting that, then it means that your computer just isn't compatible. It cannot run. I know my laptop used to be able to run this, but I changed the processor in it to Intel Core 2 Duo, and now where it went from a Pentium processor to this big old processor in it, Windows is fine with it, but every time I try to install Mac on it now, it says BIOS error and it always panics and stuff. So that's what I'm saying. If you change parts in the laptop, it usually don't like that. These things are really testy. Okay, so here we go, finally loaded. And like I said, it takes quite a while. Actually, this video is quite long, so, sometimes I try to pause the video and stuff, it don't work like that for some reason, because I'm using my phone, I guess, and this video might be split up in parts and stuff, so just to let you know, this might be in parts. Okay, so basically if you get this screen, you're in the good. So you just go through all of these. You pick your language. You don't have to go through all of these. You know, I'm in America, so I'm gonna use English. And this is called Akatos and L2, I think. Yeah, we're using L2 instead of L1, and L2, of course, is the latest version, and it's basically Macline. So, I'm trying to put a download link in the description for this. It'll probably be a torrent link, so you'll need a torrent client to download it. And it's a lot faster, guys, to download torrents, and it's a lot safer. And I'll give you the torrent link I used where you don't get a virus or nothing, because it's basically you just download it on a working computer, burn the ISO image to disk, and as you see, you just throw it in your computer if it's compatible and boot. So the first thing we want to do here is come up here to utilities and click this and hit disk utility. And I think my phone's about dead, so I'm gonna actually see if I can't plug my phone charger to the computer while I'm doing this, and plug it in and let it charge while I'm doing the video. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so